Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap here with Cody Carpentier on a big Friday edition, a pre-Florida edition, a final takes edition of Football with Friends here on Orange Bloods Live. I'm officially the worst hunter that you know, back home from the hill country without a cooler full of any kind of meat. But we did have, my brother-in-law had a setup today. We did have an opportunity. Our plan worked. Unfortunately, a little bit of a misplacement on the shot from my brother-in-law. Really super tough shot, but we couldn't quite get it done with our teamwork here on this big active buck. So
you're not just pushing the blame off on him, are you? You didn't miss the shot, did you? You're not just pushing it off on him.
No. I mean, well, look, man. Like, we've all missed shots. Like, you know, if you've been, if you've never missed a shot, you haven't hunted long enough. And the good thing is, at least it was a clean miss. You know, it was one where the animal was injured. There was no blood.
That's fair.
It's just you prefer that, but it was a tough shot for him, man. It was a tough angle from where he was set up and from the hide that we had for him. But anyway, all you can ask for is an opportunity. We figured out exactly the pattern, and you know, that was that. So better luck next time. The axis deer of the county that we hunt in went on to celebrate today. Hopefully we'll have Texas celebrating over the course of this weekend. And Cody, like, you know, I just rolled in, man. I'm straight out of the boonies. So there's a million things we need to talk about. Can we, like, so the thumbnail says Michael Terry to Nebraska. And I want to talk about that, but the first thing I want to talk, dude, what happened with Jonthay Cook?
Yeah, there was some stuff that came out in the war room last night, but essentially, and during the press conference yesterday, Sark talked about it. Essentially, Sark said we're moving on. Jonthay's moving on. It was mutual. That was how he laid it out to the media in his opening statement. He talked about Jonthay moving on. Salute to service on Saturday, and then the intent, energy, and urgency from the week, as well as wishing luck, I think, to the soccer team. I think was in the SEC conference semis, I think, last night. I think they got the win, too, so they should be in the conference finals now. Anyway, basically said it was a mutual separation between the team and Jonthay. There was some stuff in the war room last night that I'm not going to just it wasn't spoken on Orange Bloods today on shows, so I'm not going to speak it. We'll just put it that way, Alex. If you want to read more about it, you can go. Anybody listening, you can go read about the Jonthay stuff on Orange Bloods in the war room. It's very good information. Kind of gives you some closure on the situation. But he's no longer on the team, and he was contacted. I think this thing came out yesterday. It was SMU or not SMU? Sorry, that's where I'm wishcasting. Ole Miss, Georgia, and Oregon were the three teams that were in contact with Jonthay on the first day, according to.
According to who?
According to I don't know. I just lost it. I think it was like an on three. I think it was an on three source.
Okay. Kiffin and Sark are such good friends, man. I can't see somebody that, I mean, at this point, we can say it that Jonthay Cook officially, you know, I don't mean this in a negative way. I don't mean this in a derogatory fashion, but he was officially a malcontent at Texas. He was a malcontented player, right? What does the word malcontent even mean? It means somebody that wasn't content, somebody that wasn't happy.
Dissatisfied and rebellious.
Yeah. And so I don't think Kiffin would take somebody that was malcontented in a Sark program. But
I think you're right. But also it's interesting because Kirby's kind of obviously from the same tree. I don't know if that relationship's as tight as Sark and Lanes is, but we have seen players go to Georgia and have success whilst being rebellious. So,
yeah, I don't see it with Ole Miss. Let's talk about Michael Terry, and then we'll get into final takes. But first, we got something here from Tom G, a super chat from Tom G. Oh, what's he? So some fantasy smack from Tom G. All right, so what he's saying, I guess I'm playing him this week, possibly. Tom G, I've been out in the woods for 2 days, and I did get in there to set my lineups last night, but I didn't realize am I playing you?
Does he have Chase?
You. Dude, I'm not sure, man. No, he doesn't have Chase. I'm playing Trash Man, who has Chase, but in half point PPR put up a 52 burger on me. It's just it hurt. It really, really hurts. It looks like Tom G. He says, speaking of celebrating, are you going to be celebrating after this week's FFL game? I think Texas rolls Florida, and if QE can shine in this game, then not sure. If he can't shine in this game, not sure he can take us far in the CFP. All right, first let's look at our fantasy matchup here, Tom G. And I mean, you're getting me on a pretty good week. I got no Olave, I got no Josh Jacobs, I got no JSN. I'm having to start scrubs like I had to start Yosivash last night.
Hell yeah.
I'm having to play Nick Westbrook Akine this week.
Bro, I added Van Jefferson. I added Van Jefferson in that league today.
It's tough, dude. It's tough. I don't know I don't know how I'm going to do it in this one. In my team in this league, it's just I don't feel like I've been performing that badly. I think I have the 5th most points in the league, but it's like I'm in 10th place, so I definitely got to get a win. Very, very, very embarrassing. But we'll see what happens. Wish you the best of luck, Tom G. And as far as if Quinn can't shine in this game, then not sure he can take us far in the CFP. I mean, Florida's not a bad defense, Tom. It's not a terrible defense. I think Cody, if I was pointing out things that could shine in this matchup, I kind of think that it's a game that sets up for the Texas defense to shine, unless you know information about DJ Lagway that I just don't. I saw that he was questionable on last night's injury report.
He's game time decision right now. I kind of ended the show last night talking about Lagway, and I have a question about it later for final takes, but I'm just increasingly worried.
That he goes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I listened to this Napier press conference earlier this week, his press conference, and he was basically all things were positive.
Right.
Everyone thought it was this. It ended up not being. We got the MRIs back on Tuesday. We're in a much better place. We're taking it day by day. I would say he's questionable. You do all the was it game theory things smartly, but the thing is, Alex, like he knows Sark's not gonna not prepare for DJ Legway. The other kid's not. The other kid ain't worth
the other guy's not the other guy doesn't present anything that you prepare for.
He ain't worth a squirt of piss, and it's like you're not going to prepare for a guy that completes 30% of his passes. You just like, okay, well, we can throw in what's the 5th stringer's name, Cole Lord. We'll just put Cole Lord back there, and that's pretty much what you're getting from this kid at Florida. And they're going to game plan for DJ Lagway. I'm assuming. I don't know why you wouldn't. So. I don't know. He also got the vote of confidence. I don't know if you saw that. You might have been in the woods, but Billy Napier got the vote of confidence.
Well, I saw that. I have a final takes question about that.
So anyway, but that's kind of the
maybe. I mean, dude, we're just talking right about this. Let me just put up this final takes because it's the exact thing that we're talking about. Okay, so it was okay. So everybody knows the rules of the game. Final takes. It's a final takes Friday. Cody's going to put up the voting. 20 minutes or so from now, you vote for the guy who has the best takes. That guy's the king of final takes for the whole week. Cody is still the reigning king. I think it's time for a change. Change
happened last week, brother.
Yeah, but look, whenever Cody wins final takes, you have games where you have games where
that's entirely not true. You won live at Texas Beef Traders, and what happened? We don't need to talk about it, but what happened?
Well, you can't blame that loss on me.
Well, a home loss against a foe that is from that was outside interference and rabble rousing. It had nothing to do with me. No, but so you vote for who has the best takes, and so the game starts now. We're going to talk about the Michael Terry stuff. But does Napier getting the nod to get another year at UF? So they've given him the nod, the dreaded vote of confidence. I did a study on this once at Orange Bloods. Anytime your school president or the board of regents or the athletic director or anybody has to come out and say, no, he's our guy,
that guy gets fired. And whether it's that year, whether it's the next year, whether it's a couple years down the road, that coach ends up being a coaching tenure that ends in their firing. It's like, dude, it's like a lock. He's going to get fired. The vote of confidence is a dreaded thing with big time college, or just not even big time, just the Division I college head coaches. Does that have any effect on whether or not he plays DJ Lagway though? Because I was thinking, my original take was, dude, he's got his back against the wall. It feels like a scummy thing to do, to run a kid out there whenever he's hurt, just to try and get a win to help save your own career. But then again, he goes home and looks at his wife and his kids and stuff like that and says, well, it's not just me. It's like, I don't want to pull them out of their schools and have to pull up roots and move. And people can do things that we view as selfish, that maybe they don't, you're not inside their head. I do think that him getting this dreaded vote of confidence that he's probably, he's happy to have gotten, says like, well, I don't, gosh, I probably shouldn't push DJ.
So I agree to a certain extent. Tom G said the same thing. I think that came out because Lagway's not playing. I don't think that directly correlates. I think it assists. That wasn't the president. They don't have a president at Florida right now. They're in the midst of finding one. But it was the athletic director that wrote that thing, and it was a write-up rather than a speech or a press conference or anything, which I thought was interesting. I do think, the vote of confidence thing, like you brought up, historically is not great. However, with the amount of dollars and recruiting that has taken place the last 2 years with Napier, and the fact that he has this kid, DJ Lagway, the number one quarterback in last year's class, already proving he's going to be good. I think that and this team hasn't quit.
Yeah.
He talked on Tuesday. He was asked what was the big kind of thing with this team. And it happened the Wednesday of the bye week after the Mississippi State win. They were 2-2. They beat UCF, and then they beat Mississippi State. They went into a bye. And he said the Wednesday of that bye week was the best practice that he had ever coached in his 20 years of coaching. Mm-hmm. And since then, they've played everybody tough, right? Overtime to Tennessee, 2020 with Georgia. They had one more loss in there that they could have, should have won. Blew out Kentucky. It was just, this team has just played at a different level than they did the first quarter of the year. I think he's fine, at least to get going next year. And of course, that'll be what that is. They got Miami early next year. They'll have Georgia November 1st and stuff like that. We'll see if he makes it that long. I think the team's in a fine spot. But as far as Lagway goes this week, like I said, I'm just increasingly worried. They have him listed as questionable. I'm saying this, like, I don't think this other quarterback is anything to worry about. I don't think anybody in the country thinks this other quarterback's anything to worry about. So I understand the idea of, I think, is game theory the right phrase I'm using here? Game theory of playing around with the opposite team by saying this kid's might play. Well, no, we'll see. That's proper, right? And I get the game theory behind that. Like, this kid's a superstar, but the fact that the kid behind him is he's the most basic quarterback that you can think of. There's not really anything to plan for. I just, because of that, I don't quite buy that it's complete BS and he's just not going to play. Nobody knows anything. You can go look on the Florida stuff. Nobody knows anything. They just know the MRI came back better than expected. It's not season long. That's it. And it's a hamstring. And he said it in the Tuesday press conference. Napier did. Soft tissue is always a tough one. You can think it's a tear, and it can be a sprain, and it can recover. That's the weird thing about, especially hamstrings. It's one of the biggest muscles in the body, and it can heal differently. And this guy's a literal tier 1 athlete. So I don't know. I think there's a chance. I don't know. What was the exact question you asked?
I've already erased it. Whether it's whether him getting the nod, whether it affects it.
No, well,
I think it does.
I think it's a true 50-50. I think not. I think it's a true 50-50 because
Well, if it's a true
if you
50-50,
send out
then
the other
Texas
kid, I
fans.
think it zaps the roster. Like the team's going to try, but it just zaps the mojo that they've built the last few games.
Do you know what else zaps the mojo that he's built? Like if he puts him back in and he gets and he hurts it bad, and then you go into next spring with this guy with this dude hurt.
You
It's
can't
like
run. You can't move. Like you literally have to play in. You have to stay
so
in the
much of
pocket.
this stuff is off platform. Like even as a passer,
I understand that, but they got a good center. They got a good tackle. The rest of the line isn't the best, but it's big, and if they can keep him in the pocket, I think that they probably feel better about him staying in the pocket than this other kid just playing a football game. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand where his talents get better, but I just,
and I also think, man,
be off here. But I'm just saying, I just have a weird feeling about it.
I think that I don't think you can play that guy. I mean, he was carted off the football field last week.
I mean, one in a million. Does a player come back from being carted off, right?
I guess, man. Unless it's gosh, what's it? Kadarius Toney. It's like that.
He could get carted off twice a week. He still come
carted off and come back out at halftime. This dude,
and then punch somebody.
Hey, all right. So we'll continue with final takes. But what is your Michael Terry to Nebraska cockamamie business here?
Michael Terry to Nebraska. The reason I brought this up. So first and foremost, Michael Terry, Alamo Heights, 5-star, top 100 ranked athlete. Michael Terry III has been down in Nebraska and Texas for the last, 4 or 5 months now. He officially got invited and accepted his invite to the Navy All-American Bowl, which is in San Antonio.
French is going too. There'll be a bunch of Texas guys there.
Yeah, so that'll be on January 11th. I don't know if Alex will go down this year. I know you've went down before.
I might. It'll just depend on what date. It'll depend on what day it is. I wanted to go last year, but Catch is like, dude, Texas is about to play in the CFP. You can't go down there for a recruiting event. Yeah. Like you need to be here writing about the team. So, I think it'll just depend on that.
So yeah, so that's on January 11th. So that is the day. It's like a Saturday after like Cotton and Orange Bowl, which I think are like semifinal games. So Zachary Sim from Orange Bloods does a lot of baseball stuff. He was down there. I think he might be like a alumni of Alamo Heights. Anyway, he caught up with Michael Terry after the availability, or I guess he created an availability by himself just by being there. And he kind of asked him about the situation. He asked him about, he's on a bye week. He's recovering. They're 10-0. They won the district. He says they're trying to, he's trying to get better, 1% better every single day. And then the question came up. He said, December 4th is rapidly approaching. How close are you to making a decision on where you will be attending school? And are you still focused on the finalists, Texas and Nebraska? And this is a quote from Michael Terry. He said, I'm pretty close. I've seen all the schools and made my visits. Texas and Nebraska are the two that I'm considering. I've talked to the coaches and talked to my parents a lot. Open to going anywhere. Location doesn't matter to me or my parents. They want me to go somewhere I feel safe and comfortable. Someplace I can thrive and get better. Nebraska was here last Thursday. My last visit to Texas was UTSA. Every time I've been up there, it's been a great environment, a lot of energy, positive energy, and always feels welcome. Talked to the coaches about announcing today, but did not want to take away from the ceremony and what it means, because the ceremony obviously is surrounded around.
He's talked about announcing today?
Yes.
So he already knows.
He already knows.
Somewhere where he feels safe and comfortable. That's it. I mean, it's fine. You can say whatever. It doesn't feel like something I would have said when I was going into college, saying someplace I feel safe.
I also feel weird, just like, I don't know. That's what he said. But and he also said location doesn't matter. I'm open to going anywhere. Doesn't matter to me or my parents. Location doesn't. Nebraska was here last Thursday, and I haven't visited Texas since the UTSA game. And he didn't say the last time Texas visited him.
Yeah. I mean that.
And since the UTSA game, I mean,
does Zach think like did Zach say whether or not he thought
Zach didn't write anything about his feel or anything like that?
Because a lot can come from maybe just like the connotation in his voice, and you know what I mean. But just if you're reading it the way you said it and just putting the breadcrumbs, it kind of feels like, like
Texas has 2 tight ends right now. Texas has 3 stud receivers right now.
mm-hmm.
They got a couple running backs. Like
Matt Rule hasn't been lighting it on fire in the win column recently,
well,
Cody.
I mean, Raiola's been a little banged up, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit, but there's clear culture there. And I think, I mean, it's awesome, great. You get to play with Arch for 2 years here, but he could also go to Nebraska and play with Raiola for 2 years and probably be the alpha when he walks in. You see what Isaiah Nayer's doing there this season, or done there this season. Like Michael Terry's a guy that 6'3", 216 pounds. Like he's a super athlete, and like I think it's tough to. He's a Ferrari, man. It's tough to keep a Ferrari in the garage, right? Like there's how many freshmen this year? There's like 8 freshman receivers this year that have been nuts, and I think this kid's the type of athlete, if given the opportunity in a situation with the quarterback, and a feature, I think he could really do some things. And I don't think that's the complete reason he may go to Nebraska, but it just, when you think about the stuff he said here in this quote, think about that, just the situation of targets, having a quarterback there, having culture there.
I mean, all right. So you say that they have culture. What you say? I mean, they're not winning right now. I mean,
hurt.
What?
The quarterback's hurt.
Right. Well, look. I mean, they got culture. Maybe he feels safe. He can go up there and he can. Hey, but look, one thing they don't have up there is Texas beef traders. they could have. Do you know what they have up there? What they have up there is those Omaha steaks that are kind of like.
Oh, dude.
Did you ever know anybody who ordered those? I mean, it's like
they drive around the Midwest, bro.
Yeah,
they come and knock on your door.
Yeah, and you never know. Look, I don't know what Omaha Steaks does. I just know the Texas beef traders. There's no vaccines in this meat. It's not shut up with a bunch of weird stuff. You don't want. Do you want a bunch of like antibiotics and steroids and mRNA stuff like all in your meat? Why not just get natural meat, man? Go to Texas beef traders. It's like going to the farmer's market and buying beef, but it's just a store. They take it direct from the ranch. There's one in Mason, Texas. That's Angus. There's one in Gatesville, Texas, which is Wagyu. That's the iron table Wagyu. And then there's the Texas Piedmontese from right there in Lukenbach for the Piedmontese beef. All of this beef is delicious. I love the MTX Angus beef the most. I think it's what they sell the most. I love it so much they have a steak there named after me, the Delmonico steak. They call it the Dunlap steak. It's just right there. You could try it out. It's delicious. I make beef kebabs with it. But look, you get 10% off at Texas Beef Traders whenever you go there. And so make sure and go there, check it out. Also, make sure to check out Cody and I's signature beef jerky blends that we have working with Texas Beef Traders here. We have the jalapeno garlic and the cowboy blend. The cowboy blend, just traditional Texas cowboy, stuff. The jalapeno garlic, the jalapeno garlic is mild. It's not spicy. My son eats it. He doesn't like super spicy stuff. So you can check those things out. It helps us out to go get them. You can scan the QR code there. I don't have it on me, but I can probably find the URL to put into chat, and I will do that here. Yeah, here you go. Football with Friends beef jerky. I'll put the QR code in chat, and you can order that, and we can ship it now to anywhere in the lower 48. So get some beef jerky. It's delicious. And you get 10% off. So just tell them that you heard about them here on Orange Bloods Live. Texas Beef Traders, right there in the heart of Lakeway, Loman's Crossing. And if you live in the Austin area and you can't make it in and you just wanted to bring you steaks, just call them up, just make your order. They'll just bring it to your house. Texas Beef Traders, TexasBeefTraders.com. All right, Cody.
Final takes.
All right.
I got one. Same conversation.
Is voting up?
No, I'll open up in 4 minutes.
All right.
Final takes. Back to DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway is worth how many points on the spread in this game? Currently, or I guess opening, the spread was 21.5 in favor of Texas.
He's worth 7 points.
I think yeah. I thought honestly when I was doing my prediction on my column the other day.
So I think technically, honestly, Cody, like I just mean from what the markets would do.
Yeah.
I think I don't think Florida has a chance with with his backup.
Correct.
I truly don't think so. I think if they have Lagway and it's a healthy Lagway, I'm worried about I'm worried about this game if I'm Texas. You were saying the dude. I mean, Kirby Smart was saying last week this team's playing as well as anybody in the whole SEC right now. And I think their defense is good. I just think that I just think that the offense is operating at such a puny level with that guy in there that all Texas needs to do is score 17 points. And I think even if Quinn goes out, what?
With this other kid?
No, I just think Texas needs to clear 17 or something, and they're gonna win the football game. And I think Quinn could go out and have a puny game of his own and put up 17, 20 points. I don't think that they can match that offensively. I think it would take some kick returns or some weird pick sixes or something like that for 17 not to win this football game with that guy. So I think from a true standpoint, to me, it's like it makes all the difference. I feel like Texas should be they're at home. They should probably be a touchdown favorite or something. I think it might be more like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
in real life, it wouldn't be. I don't think that the markets would get there though, if that makes sense.
I had it 34-10 without him, like in the current state of expectation with this backup, and I had a without and a with, and then I deleted the with because I just didn't want people to comment on it. But my with was change it from 34-10 to 31-26, so that's like a 19-point swing. Or actually, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, Lagway's he's he's good and he's ascending and like the team plays for him and he's one of these sparks. He's one of these guys that makes plays. There was somebody earlier asking, is this a is he a true run threat or just
not
anymore?
A
scrambler? Well, prior to getting injured, he was certainly a true dual threat.
Well, I know. I'm saying not anymore. Like not with the injury.
Oh, he will be again. Yeah, I don't think he will be this week.
That's what I mean.
Right. All right. Final takes. All right. So speaking of these other games, what game is more important for Texas fans this weekend? Alabama at LSU or Georgia at Ole Miss?
Well, Alabama LSU is just a historically great game in Death Valley at night. But I think the Ole Miss Georgia thing is interesting because Ole Miss is different as far as the trenches go this year. And Georgia's regressed just a touch in the trenches overall, I would say. And I don't know.
But just to be clear, the question is what's the game that's more important to Texas is the implications for what it means for Texas and its future going through these next 4. What game is more important this weekend for Texas fans to monitor and have a rooting interest in for their own devices?
The Alabama LSU game doesn't mean anything. Whichever one loses is pretty much out. If Ole Miss beats Georgia, it opens up a whole different door.
Okay, so can you explain that? I'm running this tiny bit low on sleep, and so my brain's not firing quite as quick today. What is? Can you explain that though?
So Alabama and LSU are both 2-loss teams, and now my computer's running slow as hell. They're both 2-loss teams. So whichever one loses pretty much eliminates themselves from any way to get to the SEC.
There's a weird tiebreaker or something with.
There's no way the loser of that game gets to the SEC championship.
Okay.
Unless colossal hell happens in the next month. Right? It's pretty much impossible. There's just too many teams up there that there's no way to navigate them to boxing out of Texas from the conference championship. Georgia at Ole Miss. Ole Miss has lost an extra game compared to Georgia. So if Ole Miss beats Georgia, it bumps to where there's no tiebreaker between Georgia and Texas. Texas would just have one less loss.
But wouldn't it be Okay. But wouldn't hold on. Am I getting who's Tennessee playing? Mississippi State?
Yeah, they have a bum schedule today. They play Georgia next week though too.
Okay. Yeah, so
Georgia needs to lose one of the next 2 games for Texas to just be no tiebreaker between them and pretty much control your own destiny completely to get to there.
all right. So
That's your answer to your question. If Ole Miss beats Georgia, it pretty much enables Texas to.
So I was just thinking there might be some kind of weird tiebreaker thing with LSU to where it's better if they lose, but
it would help. Sure, it would help. I mean, they're also a 1-loss team. They have 2 losses overall. Sure, it would help, but I think that if Texas wins out, because A&M beat LSU, so the common opponent thing would be null and void.
Do you have final takes, or do you want me to follow up here with another one?
I got a final take here.
All right.
Quinn threw for 300 yards 6 times last year and 3 times before November. Bama, Kansas, and Oklahoma. He has yet to do it this year. He will break that drought against Florida.
300.
He had 288 last week 2 weeks ago against Vandy. That was his season high. Last year,
is he broken 300 this year?
No. That's why I said he's yet to do it this year. 260 against Colorado State, and then it's been down, under 200 for UTSA and Oklahoma, 211 for Georgia, 288 for Vandy.
I don't. Do you think he needs to throw for like 303 for him to get back in the saddle?
Yeah, that would be what, in my opinion, like if that was one thing, he threw the 2 picks last week that really weren't like his fault against Vandy. So technically he pretty much kind of got back in the saddle, if you want to call it that way.
Yeah. Well, it didn't feel like it.
I know it didn't. What I'm saying, like from a statistical standpoint, if he doesn't throw those 2 picks and they're just batted down, right? If they bounce this way instead of that way, and they're not picked, he's 73%, 3 touchdowns, 288, and I think you have a different conversation by a touch, but a definitive 300-yard game, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 70% completion percentage, and you win by 20. I feel like that's all right. We're back.
I'm not sure that he's gonna. I mean, I'm not sure he's gonna get there.
It's gonna take the putrid Arkansas defense for him to get there.
In Fayetteville, do we know if that game's at night yet?
I could probably find it. SEC Week 12 schedule.
I'm not sure if that time get announced on Wednesday or Thursday.
Generally,
or was it announced before and I just didn't notice?
I feel like generally the week ahead gets released, right?
Yeah. I don't remember seeing the email, though, from Thomas. Maybe it was one that was already scheduled for a while back. Just look at the Longhorns schedule. Let me just look.
SEC announces kickoff schedule. Arkansas, Texas, noon.
Noon? Oh, that's better than
11.
Yeah, he gets back on there at noon. He doesn't do it versus Florida.
I mean, that Florida game's at noon too. It's at home though.
Yeah. I think that the Florida defense is better than the Arkansas defense.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
All right. Final takes.
Voting is opening right now.
Okay. Well, how about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, how big a loss for the program was Jonthay Cook? And we've already talked about where he'll end up, but just 1 to 10 scale, how big a loss is Jonthay? It's like uber talent. Really, I mean, great hands. It's fast. I mean, can go up and get it. I mean, he's a good player.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being 10. Can you give me
10 is losing Arch Manning. 1 is losing, Peyton Kirkland.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 2.
2.
Yeah.
It's like losing Peyton Kirkland or something.
No, it's one step up from there.
Oh,
I think when you bring in the
yikes, dude, Jonthay's good. Jonthay's a good player, man.
I'm not saying he's not. You asked the question. How big of a loss? How big of a loss? Listen to what you wrote. How big of a loss for the program was Jonthay? For the program, not big of a loss. Is he the talent? Losing him for the team. How big of a loss for the program? It's like you lucky I didn't say negative because I was thinking about saying negative. Like I just said 2. I think 2 is a content number. Like you said the word malcontent, right? Like,
and like I said, I didn't mean it as a derogatory fashion.
You can go read this the behind the scenes stuff on orangebloods.com right now on the War Room. The way it sounded to me was there was a little clash. He wasn't happy. Things happen. And I think that you're better off getting that out of your program than you are in it. So when you ask the question, how big of a loss is it for the program? For the program, it's a 2. How big of a loss is Jonthay Cook, the player? He's like a 7.5.
Okay.
The player. I mean, the player, Jonthay, if he goes somewhere with opportunity and he goes there and attacks it, which I assume he will because he's been wanting the opportunity, right? Even though he was gifted an opportunity in the middle of a game like 6 weeks ago on a 50-yard touchdown. He was gifted an opportunity, gift wrapped it. If he goes somewhere with an opportunity, I mean, he's got 1,000 yards in his range of outcomes ASAP, the minute he gets somewhere. We know that. You've talked about what he looks like at practice. It's, everybody wants it, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's for me, I think I kind of agree. My deal was I wouldn't put it at like a 7 or 7.5 because he was the malcontent, right? So I was gonna say it's like a 5, right? It's just like a kind of, it's the run of the mill, just average loss. It would have been a worse loss if it wasn't something where there were behavior issues and all this. I mean, if it's bad for the locker room, it's going to be technically addition by subtraction, no matter how talented they are. But he's a talented guy. And sometimes it's just, man, you get in a fight with Torrey Becton. And I mean, sometimes just like, God, you just like to let him see cooler heads prevail. But, JD's saying he had opportunity at Texas for 2 years. I get it. But, man, he's like, who's going to get on the field over three NFL players?
Guess what? Guess who had an opportunity with 3 fresh faces this spring? Guess who knew the playbook before those fresh faces?
Yeah, no.
Guess why those 3 fresh faces arrived at Texas, right? And a lot of those things go together.
I get it. It's just
I love the talent. I don't want to be any type of way negative towards Jonthay. I love the talent. I love the player. So I don't want to be any type of way negative, but I'm just being honest.
I got another final take here.
But as you all know in the chat, whose take was better there? I answered the real question.
I answered the question. You tried to avoid it. You're trying to run away from the question.
The way you wrote it is the way I answered.
I'm here taking all the slings and all the arrows, and you're just here giving your canned lines. Okay. What do you take from? All right, so you got to go read the whole War Room. But what do you take from this line from Anwar in the War Room? Just kind of just a little throwaway note. It shows you how many nuggets are in the War Room weekly, right? So Ewers visited a physical therapist during the bye week, and underwent red light scraping to relieve muscle pain and improve blood circulation.
What do I think of it?
Yeah.
I think nothing of it. I think it's proper recovery.
Have you ever had muscle scraping?
Yes. All high-end. I have my own kit. All high-end athletes should do it. I have my own cupping kit. I have my own scraping kit.
Cupping kit? Explain what this is.
Cupping?
Have you ever seen cupping? Is that the thing where sometimes you have all those dots on your back?
Yeah.
So what is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's I can literally get it for you. Here, look at this.
Okay. So he's gonna actually go get his scraping tool. I don't even know. I don't even know what it is. Tom G saying that he had to Google what red light scraping was. I know that, but see, like
It's
in my sauna, like
it's way easier to
they
show
have
you
this
than explain it.
infrared, and they do the it has the light therapy on it, and one of them is the um I don't know. Like one of them's a red light. There's a red, green, blue one, but they say it's good for you. I have no idea how it is to shine the lights. Cody, at your sauna place that you go to, those are clear light saunas, right?
We have like multiple lights, so I can do like blue or clear,
Yeah. So I have the
red.
same one at my house, and it's like, but I don't know what those lights really do. Is this what? But so what are you showing me?
So this is a cupping set, right? I ordered,
This
right?
show, man. Okay.
It's wow, okay. And then you take this thing. I know it looks like a pecker pump or something, but you
Yeah.
take that and then you wherever you want to go. So like my pec, whatever, my shoulder. Generally, it's a shoulder for me. So a shoulder or back, and then you just go. You squeeze it, take it off, and then you can see that thing getting purple already.
Yeah. How long? Gosh, doesn't that hurt?
Oh, it hurts. And then and the thing is you put like I'll put like 10 of them on usually at a time. And my favorite place to do it, and then look at this. When you take it off, there's your mark.
Huh.
The longer it's on there, obviously the purpler it gets.
How long
And
are you
also,
supposed to leave it on?
I do between 10 and 15 minutes.
Oh.
Your first couple times is pretty painful, but the longer you do it, the easier it gets, obviously. But also, the more like pain you're in, usually, or the more tight a muscle is, the purpler it'll get. And I love it. But the scraping, you asked a question, right? He visited red light scraping.
Yeah.
Do not overlook that at all. I mean, that's proper recovery. I would tell you, majority of athletes should be doing stuff like that on a weekly basis, especially for how much work they put in. I did it literally weekly whilst I was powerlifting at a, like, I guess you'd say professional level, like competing multiple times a year. Like that's what I did every single week, was scraping and cupping. So I think that's proper. That's easy way to loosen up the muscle. And like you said, improve blood circulation, which this guy's job is literally to throw a football, hundreds and hundreds of times a week. So I think it's great and probably something he should have been doing for the last 3 years.
Well, he should have. I've never even heard of it until today. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that I know about it. And Cody, I noticed as you were showing off that cupping technology, you were also kind of showing off some a Poncho Outdoors hoodie. So that's a good looking hoodie, man. Poncho Outdoors is just really, really good to us, man. They get us all kinds of great clothes, and I can't get enough of them. I got we got some denim shirts in the mail that Cody will pick up when he comes into town. Cody coming into town for the Kentucky game for a live show at Texas Beef Traders. We need to make a little QR code for that starting next week and start promoting it, man. Get a bunch of people out like last time, but it was a little too hot last time to where I was just like, man, it's a hot day. I want to wear a short sleeve shirt, but it's cooling down a little bit, man. Maybe we'll wear our poncho hoodies up there to the Texas Beef Traders deal. But dude, poncho stuff is awesome. The hoodies, the shirts, man. Just make sure and go get them. Poncho Outdoors. I love the Western shirts, but those not the flannel, the denim ones. I haven't got a chance to wear it yet, but I tried it on. But it feels awesome and soft. Poncho Outdoors. Go and check them out, man. Great sponsors here on Football with Friends. Okay. Do you want me to go with? Okay.
I'll go. All right. This is the last one I got written up. Maybe I'll write another one. I have one in my head, but final take. Mini on Orange Bloods. I'm going to even say including catch. Seemed okay with CJ Baxter not playing this year. And I phrased it that way because, of course, it was an injury. It's not good. Nobody wished it. Nobody wants it. Nobody's saying he's bad. But they were okay because they had Jaden Blue.
Yeah.
They loved him after last year. They miss CJ Baxter now.
Oh yeah. I mean, who knows? CJ Baxter right now could be like maybe he could have turned on a new gear. You know, I mean, what I mean, like a guy coming into year 2. With the deal with CJ Baxter, I didn't vision is stuff that I think that there's some of it that's natural, right? I think there's some of it that's just natural and just feel for it. But vision can certainly get better. It's like, and that was my main my main thing with him. It was the vision, and also, man, it's still like after his cut, he was just a tiny bit plodding, you know. And people would just see him and they would juxtapose that with Jaden Blue, who, regardless of any of his other, foibles, he can get up, he can get up to speed like that. And when you see that you see it in your eyes, and it just kind of excites your brain. And I think Baxter, I mean, clearly yeah, man. I think right now the insertion of really any quality running back to anything to give that group a spark, and I think Baxter could have been able to do that. I certainly hope that Blue can get back to being the Jaden Blue of the first 4 weeks of the season. I think that would be the ultimate spark that could be just really, really good for the Texas team. All right. Okay, how about this, man? We haven't checked in on this. Some War Room notes that Texas is still things are getting hot with Mike Fasusi now. It's November 8th, 2024. What chances do you put on Texas flipping Fasusi at this point?
I do not have burnt rosy glasses on.
Okay.
But I believe he will flip 100% to Texas. I would put it at like 65.
Okay, so you're saying you think that he flips for sure, but you're worried, but 65 Texas, 35 A&M.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I was gonna say I put you, but what makes you so sure he's gonna flip? It's just you just from the interviews you've seen and stuff. Like he posted the video of him, he smiled when he got asked about Texas and all this other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if he was if he was a quarterback, I could maybe and take out the fact that Hawkins and Arnold are there. Like if he was positionally, if you were a guy like that and you were I can go fix this. But the guy's a tackle. Who comes to your mind when you think of a horrible team and an all-time tackle?
A horrible team and an all-time tackle.
Say it.
No, I mean, I'm probably not thinking of even the one that you are.
You just started with a J, weren't you? Joe Thomas.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking of that. I forget who's the guy that played for the Bengals.
Igueno? Or no. Munoz?
Yeah, Anthony Munoz. Oh no, dude. What about Bruce? What about Bruce Matthews? Horrible team. He played for the Oilers. Like him and Munchak. Talk about a waste. Talk about a wasted bunch of offensive line talent from those deserters, the Houston Oilers.
Tom G says, I think he will chase NIL and go to A&M. He's kind of the opposite. He says 35% Texas.
All right. Well, I mean, I kind of, dude. I think right now I would put it at. I'm kind of like Cody. I think he eventually does flip, but I don't think it's 100% that he flips. I think it's like 60%. And I do think that it will come down to a 50-50 between Texas and A&M. So I would put it right where I would probably say 30% that he flips to Texas, 60% that he flips somewhere. Here's another one. Cam Williams missed some practices this week. It wasn't because he was injured. There was something, I don't know if he had tests or something personal or whatever. And apparently it was Gooseby that worked in at right tackle, not Brandon Baker. Is there anything to take away from this?
They trust him more. He's been in the program longer.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too.
I also like it. I like the fact that he can work at both left and right tackle.
If knock on wood, man, and God forbid,
don't even
crazy. Gooseby's the swing tackle right now. Texas needs Fasusi, dude. They need him. And they can't but no, Alex, John Turntine. I'm like, dude, last I checked, that guy's still a junior in high school right now.
Yeah.
We're talking Gooseby's the swing tackle. And he's good. It's fine. He's a good player. He's turned out to be a nice story. But that's your swing. I got news, man. It's like Cam Williams has had a couple games where he's graded down and stuff like that. But in talking with some people close to the program and talking with some agents and things like that, they all think Cam Williams is going pro still. It's like they don't they kind of don't think there's a chance he comes back. So Texas, man, that's the whole thing with Fasusi. It makes it all the more important. But I mean, but here's the thing, Cody. It's like why is Tom G saying this stuff about like no, he's going to follow that NIL? I mean, since when can't Texas compete with the Aggies in NIL for a player that they want the most
and need?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Oh man, I ended up erasing one of my favorite ones. I forgot even what it was though.
All right, here I'll go.
Okay.
Predict the SEC in the Run Your Pools contest. Have you made your picks yet?
Yeah, I did. All right. I took Texas to cover 21.5. Tennessee, Mississippi State, I believe, is 23.5. And I was thinking about picking Mississippi State, just thinking it might stay a tiny bit closer than that.
Lebby versus Heupel.
Yeah, but I ended up just being a coward and taking Tennessee because they're at home. OU, Missouri, I believe that's at Missouri, right? And they're minus 1.5. What?
No Brady Cook.
And they're in Missouri still minus 1.5.
Well, we got it at 1.5. I'll see what it is at the big books.
Well, I might need to go change it. I forgot Brady Cook was hurt.
I took Oklahoma.
I'm going to switch that to man. OU stinks, dude. I don't know. Do you know what the new line is? Is it still 1.5?
I can't find it on unabated. Missouri, Oklahoma football line. Minus 2.5 Oklahoma.
Okay, well then I'm taking Oklahoma plus the 1.5.
Yeah.
And then, dude. So Ole Miss. So George is going to Ole Miss, right? And they're still 2.5 point favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I took Ole Miss.
Yep, same.
And then SC Vandy. That one was. I mean, SC is minus 3.5. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I took Vandy. I don't. Okay. I mean, I think SC's defense is good and everything like that, but I mean, Vandy's tough and stuff, and I think that I'm not sure that I would. I think I would have predicted it if I not known. I would have predicted that Vandy was probably a field goal favorite over them, and then LSU Bama. I didn't know what to do. I don't have a good feel for that one at all. But I think I ended up picking LSU just because they're at home.
All right. So we were the same until South Carolina and Bama. I had South Carolina, Bama. You have Vandy, LSU.
Dude, it's about time for Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams and stuff to pop back off. And it's kind of getting to be that time of the season, man. What does Sark always say? It's got to be a November to remember.
Bingo.
Or the games in November, the ones you remember. It's about time for Milroe to kind of insert himself back onto the scene and say, dude, Nussmeier's not the best quarterback in this league.
I will say, Alex, we have 2 games different, and we're currently both tied for 59 points, tied for 11th overall, 9 points back of Neil McGuire. So still a couple weeks left.
Neil McGuire is going to probably get some great stuff out of this. We still haven't got the prizes together. It'll definitely include some beef jerky now, though. for sure. I don't know. Do you want to? All right. So here, how about the final one here? What's the greatest way to prepare a hot dog?
Throw it in the trash.
You got to eat it though, and you got to make a good one. How are you going to eat it? Can I tell you my favorite one?
Is it an old school? Is it an old fashioned wiener, or is it a new age donkey hot dog?
You can use it. You can use what like that's what I'm saying. You can use whatever.
All right, old fashioned wiener on a stick over the fire.
All right. Do you know the ones I like, man? They sold them at the both Rose Bowls is where I found out these things. The Michigan one and the USC one, and I think they're called like they're some kind of Mexican hot dog, but they're what they called like a kink. What are they?
What?
I can't think of what they are. It's a kind of a Mexican kind of hot dog, but basically they're wrapped in bacon. They're wrapped in bacon. It's a hot dog that's wrapped in bacon.
Okay,
And
I didn't know we were talking about this. I thought we were saying just how you cook it.
No, it's how you prepare a hot dog. Like you wrap it up in bacon, you kind of grill it on the flat iron skillet, you know, on the Blackstone or something like that. You get the bacon real crispy. You put it on a bun, and then you can put like jalapenos and like pico de gallo and all this stuff on it, some mustard, and I mean, gosh, my mouth is watering. Dude, my mouth is watering. It sounds delicious. I figure you have a better hot dog take than this. You just don't like them.
Well, my hot dog take is that I have ribeyes marinating in the fridge right now from Texas Beef Traders, and I'm ready to go fire at my Weber.
All right,
my boomer box.
Now you can email us. Oh gosh, Cody just wiped the floor with me this week. I can't believe it, dude. We're barely got any more votes than DJ Lagway with his busted. All right. Well, thanks to all you guys for voting. You can email us, fwfemails@gmail.com. You can find us on X at Cody Carpentier, at Alex Dunlap, NFL. Cody's got something to say.
I was going to say, what was your prize picks pick of the week?
Prize picks pick of the week.
Oh, you just put them in. I know you just put them in. Do you have it?
It's Mac Jones to more than 0.5 interceptions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's fair.
What about you?
Mine is I'm going back to the Hawkinson 32.5 receiving yards.
All right. Yeah. No money be in the chat today asking for the prize picks. So I guess
I don't know where I
guess he's off doing something else with his life. We do appreciate you guys being here. The show continues to grow. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. All we ask is you like the show, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, and but mainly just keep coming back, man. We love doing the show. Love being here with you guys. It's going to be a big weekend of football, man. Go out and do something awesome this weekend, man. Spend some time with friends. Spend some time with family. Enjoy your football, man. Get a big smile on your face. It's going to be a super good one. For Cody, I'm Alex. We're done.